If you're looking at going Special Forces, there are a couple options to do so. First is referred to as the 18X pipeline, and this is where you join specifically to go Special Forces. And second is going in the Army with another MOS, or military occupational specialty, a job, and then dropping a packet or going to selection as prior service. And there's not a bad way to do it, but in today's video we're going to break down the pros and cons of each, so if you're thinking about going into Special Forces, you can make an educated decision about the route you want to go. I am out here in northern Arizona going from point to point, making sure that I have the updated MGRS grids tracked in the Garmin. We have a group of some 18Xs, some prior service guys coming out in August to run through a land navigation course in preparation for selection. And it got me thinking, because this is one of the most common questions that we get, and that is, do I join as an 18 X-ray and go straight to selection, or would I be better off joining with a different job, maybe going to the Ranger Regiment and getting some experience prior to going to selection? Now, if you are not familiar with what the different pipelines are, or what the 18 X-ray pipeline is, it is just a Special Forces candidate contract that essentially guarantees that you will get an opportunity to attend Special Forces assessment and selection pretty quick. And the way this works is you first attend infantry OSIT, or one station unit training. You become a qualified infantryman. This is 22 weeks right off the bat. Get your blue cord, all that stuff. And then you will go out to airborne school, which is 3 weeks. You usually have a week or two on the front side and a week on the back side inside of airborne hold. So about 5 weeks total of that period. And then you move out to Fort Bragg and you become a member of Student Company. Student Company is the individuals who are awaiting going to SFPC, or Special Forces Preparation Course, and selection. And we have had quite a few members in our community go to Student Company over the last year. The fastest turnaround time that we have seen by the time you report to Fort Bragg to the time you go to SFPC is 6 weeks. The slowest time is probably 4 or 5 months, and average is around that 3-month mark. So you will usually get about 3 months to train up for selection after airborne school. And during this time, they pretty much leave you alone. You'll do PT as a group in the morning most days, which is primarily focused on running, rucking, team week style events. And then you will be able to lift and eat well in the dining facility there, like actual pretty good food. So you will get in very good shape before going out to SFPC. SFPC is a 5-week course. At the end of it, you will do your gate weeks, or your gate week events. So your runs, your PT test, your ruck, and you have to meet the standard or have competitive numbers to go to selection. If you don't, they will run you back through SFPC, to get you up to that point, because they're not going to send you to selection if they know you're not going to pass the gate week events. Then about 2 weeks after SFPC, you will be classed up and go out to selection. And the pros of going 18 X-ray is, number one, it is the only time in your entire military career where you will ever have that amount of time to dedicate to selection prep. You will never get the opportunity to just train and prepare for selection ever again outside the 18 X-ray pipeline. In addition to that, it's also your fastest route into the regiment. Obviously that streamlined pipeline, even though it takes, potentially 9 months, sometimes 10 months to even get to selection, it is much faster to get through the Q course and to the regiment and start doing your job than going the prior service route. The downsides of the 18 X-ray pipeline is it is a big risk. If you don't pass selection, you become needs of the Army. You can go to another unit as an airborne qualified infantryman. You are an actual 11 Bravo at that point. Or they can give you another MOS, send you back to AIT or advanced individual training, and then you can go to selection down the road, but you will be deploying with them doing that other job that you didn't necessarily join the military for. So it is a commitment, and that is the downside or the risk associated with going 18X. On the prior service side, and this is the route I joined the Army when I was 18, and ended up in an aviation role and in the 160th. So I was, working completely separate, nothing to do with combat arms selection or anything. I was working on airplanes. And the way this looks is you will join with whatever job you choose. I can get into that in just a second. Join with whatever job you choose, go to basic. After basic, you go to advanced individual training. And then after advanced individual training, or AIT, you'll report to your unit and begin running operations, deploying, doing whatever they need you to do. So the upsides of going prior service is you get some additional experience that kind of broadens your scope. Maybe you'll get a deployment or two, you'll learn new skill sets, you'll maybe be put in a leadership role so that you can go to another school. If you're an 11 Bravo, you can get Ranger School, things like that. That is going to help you indirectly be successful in selection. Is this something that the cadre at selection really care about and is going to make or break you being successful in selection? No, it's not. They don't care if you have a Ranger tab. I had plenty of guys in my class who were from the Ranger Regiment, 3 that I can think of off the top of my head, that did not make it. And I was aviation, no combat experience, no Ranger tab, nothing. So the only thing that matters in selection is your performance. There are indirect benefits of getting your Ranger tab or getting deployments in, getting experience in the military, and that is that you are probably going to be a better team player because you've been doing it for the last couple of years. You are probably going to handle hardship a little bit more because you might have been carrying a ruck for the last couple of years. So that experience is going to help your performance in selection, but it's not but the only thing that matters at the end of the day is your performance in selection, not the accolades you bring into the environment. Now, the downsides of going prior service is you will never have an ideal training environment. We have, probably 40 guys in the community who are currently active duty, and they're constantly going to the field, managing deployments. They're running unit PT that is not ideal or designed to selection. So you can kind of wrap it up in the junk volume category. So they have a much more challenging time getting consistent training in to get their numbers to where they need them to be. And that is one of the big reasons why 18 X-rays pretty much blow everyone out of the water in regards to their performance, especially in the gated events, the runs, the rucks, the physical challenging events. So it is a downside. It's also a lot slower. Once you go to selection, you return back to your unit, and then you have to go to airborne school from that point, and then you get to go to, you can schedule your qualification course start date. The way it works is after you get selected, you have 2 years from that date to go to the Q course. Typically, like if you're on the ball, you can get there in 4 to 6 months, a little bit faster if you're already airborne qualified. In my experience, I had 12 months from the time I got selected to the time I went to the Q course. Part of that was what we were doing in my unit that I wanted to be a part of, and finishing up my 3-year commitment to the 160th. So there is no wrong answer at the end of the day. But I will say this. One of the things I see most often is guys hesitate in joining the 18 X-ray pipeline because of that commitment, and they say, oh, I'm just going to join 11 Bravo and go to a regular Army unit as an 11 Bravo and then drop a packet for selection down the road. And my question for those that are planning on going 11 Bravo is, why wouldn't you at least try the 18 X-ray contract? Because you are going to be an airborne qualified 11 Bravo. Yes, there's a potential that you could get a different MOS, but you are going to be an airborne qualified 11 Bravo, and it's not going to change your experience at all. If you were to go 11 Bravo, I would definitely recommend going option 40, going to the Ranger Regiment. That will have a 3-year commitment, but you will get a lot of really good experience out of it that will be valuable and increase your performance in selection. So if you are looking at going prior service versus 18 X-ray, and the prior service job that you're looking at is 11 Bravo, I would say either get an option 40 contract or go 18 X-ray anyway, because you're going to be a qualified 11 Bravo. Now, if you are looking at going a different job, something that you are interested in, linguist, human intelligence, something along those lines, and you want to do, you genuinely want to do that for a few years and then go to selection from that point, more power to you. I think that's a great opportunity. You're going to bring some additional skill sets to that environment. But if your goal is to be a Green Beret and just get to the regiment as quickly as possible, the 18 X-ray pipeline is your best chance of getting selected. That upside of never having that time to prepare, specifically for selection again, is a huge upside. And if you want to make sure that you are in the best position possible to succeed, then the X-ray pipeline is a fantastic way to do it. And again, it's the fastest way to get into the regiment. So at the end of the day, there is no wrong answer. It really comes down to what you want your career to look like, but do not shy away from the 18 X-ray pipeline and just pick a 11 Bravo job because you are hesitant or nervous or you are anxious about going to selection. If you want another job and you genuinely want to get some military experience prior to going to selection, cool. But if you're doing it because you're just nervous about, selection and you want to kind of kick the ball down the road, then I would say nut up. Then I would say look at, what you want your career to look like and think about doing it anyway and pushing through that anxiety. Remember, when you are joining the military, this is the only time in your entire military career where you will have complete control over what that looks like and what your future in the military holds. So do your due diligence, do your homework. If you are thinking about going prior service, look at other jobs, like genuinely find something that is not only interesting to you, but the skill sets can transfer over to SF. Don't just go 11 Bravo because you think, that's what they want to see. They just want to see people that can perform in selection and make Green Berets. So again, there's no wrong answers, but I hope this video has provided a little bit more clarity on the pros and cons of going prior service versus 18 X-ray. If you have any questions for upcoming ruck talks, kind of something I'm doing new, kind of just blabbering out here, drop them down in the comments. And if you want help getting your performance numbers, getting your run and ruck times, your strength numbers, your performance under a load, your injury prevention to a good spot and solid prior to going into selection or the 18 X-ray pipeline, check out the link down below. That is exactly what myself and my team does all day long, and we would love to see if our program's a good fit. Other than that, hope you guys are doing well, getting after it. I will talk to you very soon.